When you watch Kansas City's offense, I know it's not great, and I know that they have all sorts of problems, but when you watch their play designs and their play calls, they just have a way about making plays, and that's the championship DNA, and they have some championship players in that team. And the Giants, once again, find themselves, just basically getting their asses kicked. I mean, the only guy that really showed anything last night was Cam Skattebo. I mean, somebody had sent me a text last night that Cam Skattebo's attitude on the field and the way that he looks reminded them of Jeremy Shockey and the way he used to look when he first got here for the Giants. And, that was nice to see him be able to do what he did last night. But, I mean, they just got their asses kicked. And quite frankly, this is, I want to say, this is 12 straight home openers for the Giants where they have scored 20 or less points. I mean, it's amazing.
I can't help but laugh, man. I tell you, someone asked me who I took in the knockout poll, and I said the Chiefs, and the guy was a Giants fan. He goes, how could you do that? I'm like, I said, if the Giants score more than 9 points, I'll be shocked. And it ends up being 9 points on the nuts.
Look at what CBS Sports Network has up on with the graphic right now. Worst record in primetime games since 2019. Now, it's 2-19 for the Giants. The problem is that they play 21 primetime games and nobody wants to see it.
Right, and then the Jets are 3-14, number 2 on that list. 17 primetime games. Yeah, I mean, it's just, but every list, the Jets and the Giants are going to be at the top of with the worst record because they've had the worst record in every single season.
It's bad. It is real. I mean, and quite frankly, I don't know if he'll bring in Jaxson Dart this week. He may have to.
This is a really, I mean, it's a renewed conversation. I know that we've talked about it a ton, but at this particular juncture, this is really fascinating to me of when you go to this guy. Now, Jackson a little bit from studying him. We don't know his full personality. But if you are a rookie, would you rather start against the good team at home or the bad team on the road? Because those are the two options right now. I mean, I can't imagine with the way the season's going that they get past the New Orleans game without starting him. It's going to be one of the next 2 weeks at this point.
I just think that all you have to do is take a look at the stands. And, that's what ownership does. So, I'm sure that the Mara family and the Tisch family are recognizing that you saw a lot of Chief fans there last night. That means your own fan base is basically checked out. And that's what it comes down to. And it's obvious that there's a real disappointment that is associated with the Giant fan right now, and rightfully so for that matter. I mean, the Jets are going through their new transition and their rebuild and all that other stuff. But the Giants right now, they were trying to save their season by bringing Russell Wilson in here. But, what we see is, exactly kind of like what you expected. I mean, I didn't expect last week's explosion against Dallas, but then again, I didn't expect Dallas's defense to be one of the worst that we've seen in a long time. Without any pass rush whatsoever, Caleb Williams goes off yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously what I expected. I thought they'd be another 3 or 4 win team, barring Jaxson Dart being a superstar rookie quarterback. But I mean, this is the last card that Brian Daboll can play, because if he doesn't start Jaxson Dart sooner than later, then he's done. The whole regime is done. I don't know how you even keep Joe Schoen at this point. It would just be another regime, gone, poof, and here we go again. The only thing that can save these guys is Jaxson Dart. So when they show up to the facility, this morning, and they're talking about what you're going to do. All right, so one of the best teams in football so far is coming in here next week in the LA Chargers with a superstar quarterback, a great defense, and a championship-level head coach. Are we throwing Jaxson Dart to the Wolves in that game? I wouldn't do it. Now, I would start him in a dome against one of the worst teams in football the week after that. So my question, I would say that you lose again. You look like crap against the Chargers. We know that's going to happen. You're 0-4. Then Russell Wilson can't really complain about getting benched at 0-4 with another bad offensive performance, which is probably going to happen. Now, if he plays well, it changes things. And then you throw him out there against a team that's trying to tank in a dome on the road. That's what you do.
It's a really hard thing to walk off that field last night and listen to those fans just absolutely ripping into you. And
so that's why you're saying it's more likely.
I'm just telling you, it's going to come down to ownership wanting something different. if they're playing the Chargers next week, and there will be a little bit of excitement if Jaxson Dart is playing. If he's not playing and it ends up or going the way that it went, and Malik Neighbors doesn't even get involved in the game, it's going to be more of the same. And unfortunately for the Giants, this more of the same has been going on for quite some time now. And I just, ownership is going to basically tell them what to do, I think. I don't know how involved, John Mara has been, and, what his expectations are. We haven't really heard from him, so I don't know. But I just feel like last night everything was flat. And, and Russell, every time he went back to go throw the ball deep, it felt like he was either getting harassed or hit. And this is with Andrew Thomas on the field. And then on top of that, he throws an indiscriminate interception that kind of just deflates the team. And then before the game even starts, the damn kicker's hurt again.
Yeah, which I mean,
make it up.
I've never seen anything like the amount of times that the Giants have had to struggle with injured kickers within games. I mean, it's just insanity. And Russell Wilson too. I mean, we're first and goal, in the fourth quarter, and I understand that a lot has to happen for them to get back into this game and win the game. But my Lord. I mean, it was a combination of really bad play calling and really bad execution. I mean, why on second and goal you're running that called quarterback draw in that situation from the 13-yard line or whatever it was? Idiotic. And then Russell Wilson throws the ball, into the tunnel and gets a freaking intentional grounding penalty. And then on fourth and goal, he hits the goddamn crossbar. On fourth and goal, he hit the upright.
I know. It's just, it is.
Who's going up there and getting that?
Darius Slayton, maybe? I don't know. Malik Neighbors, I have no idea.
I used to see Tony Gonzalez when he played. He would dunk over that thing, but not a lot of people can get up there.
Well, they usually tell you, especially if it's first, second, or third down, they tell you that's where you aim for, right underneath the crossbar, and somebody will come across and go up and get it. But they don't have Randy Moss on their team. Some guy that can go up there and sky and go get it. But I would just say that we are exactly where we thought they would be.
Yeah, I mean, at least me. I definitely felt that way.
Most people, I'm not including myself in this, but I would just say most people thought when they saw the Giants' schedule come out, that it was not going to be great. Now, they didn't expect, the explosion on offense against the Dallas Cowboys, but then again, they didn't expect that Micah Parsons was going to be traded.
Yeah. Right. So now, I mean, it'll be 0-4, no doubt about it. And the other problem with this is, it doesn't get much easier. So New Orleans is your only respite. To have you have the Chargers, 2 games against the Eagles, and then you have to go to Denver. So, you get like a breather at New Orleans, but, it's not like the Giants couldn't go down there and lose. You could very easily go down there and lose. So, when Jaxson Dart starts, even if it's at New Orleans in that first game, and New Orleans probably the worst team in football right now, and I don't think there's much of an argument. Well, maybe the Giants or the Jets, but New Orleans is, they're right there, I would say. So if you think about that game, let's say Jaxson Dart starts there, then he's got Philly at home, at Denver, at Philly. It's just, there's no, I don't know what the right answer is when to start him, but they're going to have to do it soon because A, the business part of it that you talked about, and B, the head coach and the general manager, they've got one more card to play. There's one more card coming out in the Texas Hold'em.
One of the reasons why you would sign a Russell Wilson is because of the team that you played last night, and because he's faced great defenses. When he was in Seattle, he'd see that San Francisco defense.
Yeah.
He'd practice against his own defense when they were really good. When he was out in Denver, he did play against the Kansas City Chiefs, so he knows who they are. So you would think that this is one of the reasons why you go and get a guy like that, is just to get you in and out of the huddle, settle everybody down, and somehow, some way generate some offense. But what I saw last night was a team that, Steve Spagnuolo's defense had a great night. They had a great night again. They were all over the wide receivers of the New York Giants. There wasn't much room. And when, I don't know whether it was Mike Kafka that was calling the plays or Brian Daboll's calling the plays or what's going on. But it seemed like Steve Spagnuolo was one step ahead. When they were blitzing, they were blitzing. When they were run blitzing, they were run blitzing and stopping a run. I mean, it was basically a 22-9 grind out game where you saw the better substance team was that of the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's not shocking. I thought it was going to be closer. I thought the Giants would be able to keep it closer just simply because the Kansas City Chiefs don't score a lot of points.
Yeah, but they weren't going 0-3. There was no way. And that play that Patrick Mahomes made with the ball that ended up being a fumble when it comes out of his hand behind the line of scrimmage.
He had two of those, by the way.
I mean, but the one where he went and got the ball like that, yes. I mean that is as heady of a play as possible. So you got the one veteran doing that, and then the other veteran, throwing the ball into the tunnel and then hitting the crossbar, the uprights on fourth down, where, I mean, not even George Murison could go up there and get it, for God's sakes.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's just, but at least for me, I mean, I knew that this would be it. I've continued to pick against the Giants in the knockout. I'll do it again. I may even pick the Saints in that next week. I'm just going to keep picking against the Giants. They can't win. They don't know how to win.
Well, the first time they're 0-3 since 2021, and that was Joe Judge. They ended up 4-13 that year.
Wow, so it's actually worse than it's been the last couple of years, which is amazing.
Yes.
So we haven't even gotten like one victory to talk about or one game.
1-9 at home in the last two seasons. Again, ownership sees that. Ownership feels it. They're humans too. They come out of that building last night. I'm sure that there's going to be a ton of chatter that, whether it be in social media, whether it be on this radio station, whether it be from the beat reporters that are covering the team, there's going to be so much negativity surrounding that team that if you want to give something to your fan base next week, because it is a home game and you don't want people leaving at halftime.
Yeah.
There's only one way to do that. And, and that's to throw the kid out there, which is probably not the most, the best thing for the team or best thing for him. But it may come to a point where they have no choice.
Yeah, I mean, I would internally sort of, this is what I would probably do if I were the Giants. I would internally say, all right, listen, Jackson, this is, unless Russell Wilson goes out there and gives us another 500-yard performance, I got you slated to start against the Saints. So get ready. This is what's going to happen. We're going to give him one more opportunity. And I'd sit down Russell and say it as well. Be like, this season's slipping away. And he's going to start against New Orleans if we're 0-4 and we have another offensive performance like that. But I wouldn't throw Jaxson Dart out there against the Chargers.
It's at home.
I understand,
but
I'd rather the Saints fan is just not, they're not locked in at all.
And I know that, the coaches can't listen to the fans and they got to try to do what they normally do and they got to go back to doing everything that has worked for them and it's just not working for them and it's very frustrating for them. And that's the reality of where they are right now. But I know what the fan base is thinking. The fan base wants to, why are we watching what we're watching when I want to see the new shiny toy that we have? Why do we draft this guy in the first round if he can't play? What is he doing here? And this is basically, this is where the Giant fan base is right now. They're thinking why am I watching what I'm watching? Just throw the kid out there. Let's go. Let's get him going, and let's start thinking about next year.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, basically, so now the New York Giants are like the Tennessee Titans at the beginning of the season. Now, for whatever reason, they had some expectations, and they wanted a veteran quarterback out there to see if they could win some games, even with this schedule. So now we've established that they can't do that. So they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not good enough to even sniff the playoffs. So basically now what you are is you're the worst team in football. That like the Tennessee Titans to start the season, they started their number one overall pick in Cam Ward to start the season. So now that's basically what the Giants are. You got nothing to lose at this point. You're not going anywhere again. So I do agree with that. It's just the thing is I don't want Jaxson Dart to be the next guy who gets thrown into New York football at the wrong time in the wrong place, and then 5 years down the road is the AFC Offensive Player of the Week for the Miami Dolphins.
Well, the one thing I will say is that, we have jettisoned quarterbacks around here relatively quickly. Now, certain guys have lasted longer than others, like Daniel Jones did last year, and he had to go.
Yeah.
He had to go. And, he found himself in a really good spot with a really good team, not in the, not one of the easier divisions in football. And he's playing great. I mean, he really is. I mean, we never saw that Daniel Jones here. Maybe one game against Minnesota in the playoffs where we saw all of the best of Daniel Jones. And Indianapolis has now got 3 games in a row with that. And that's the other thing that's pressuring this whole situation with the Giants. So is it Daniel Jones or is it the coaching staffs that the Giants have had when Daniel Jones was here, including what's going on now?
I mean, it's 3 games, but there's no argument for it being anything other. The problem being anything other than the Giants and their coaching staff and everything they're doing.
Maybe it's just the Giants in general. Maybe it's not just the coaches, not just the general managers. It's the organization in general because it continues to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not even like – I know they were close last week against the Cowboys, and the Cowboys got shredded again yesterday. So there's a reoccurring theme with Dallas. Their defense is terrible. They have no pass rush. So you kind of take that as an anomaly as to what the Giants are on offense. They're somewhere in between this really horrific performance last night, especially when Malik Neighbors has 2 catches.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no way that you can get him open. There's no way that you can devise something to get him open. I mean, somehow, some way, other teams get guys open all the time. That's really up to the coaches. That's up to the formations. That's the personnel groupings. That's trying to stay one step ahead of the defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo in this case. It seemed like he had a guy over the top all day long. So you got to come up with something that's at least going to let, Malik run underneath stuff or in between things. It's just like he never, ever got involved. And then they try to force one to him, and it's an interception.
I feel that it's been so bad with the Giants. I feel the same way about the Giants if this regime is gone at the end of the year that I felt about the Jets. It has to be an established guy. The bleeding has to stop. Like, that's what these franchises need. They can't just keep rolling the dice with these first-time head coaches. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So they have to stop the bleeding, with someone like Bill Parcells, someone like Tom Coughlin that they've done because you're not going to hit on the next Rex Ryan. Like the Jets have tried that a million times. You're not going to hit on that guy. It's not happening. So whoever that when the Broncos went out there and got Sean Payton, that was the smartest thing that organization could have possibly done. Now, maybe he wanted to go there.
The Chargers went out and got Jim Harbaugh.
Exactly. That's what these organizations need. That's what they need. Now, who that guy is at the end of the season, I'm not sure yet. But I'll come up with a name, just like I did Gruden last year. And maybe it's him again. I don't know. But it's just this hot coordinator nonsense is not working here in New York.
I wonder if John Gruden has something against Steve Wilkes, by the way.
Well, Baker Mayfield certainly does.
I know he does. But I have to say that, John Gruden eviscerated the Jets defense. Eviscerated them.
They've been one of the worst units in football.
I was shocked to see it, actually.
All right, we will get to them. CeeLo coming up